Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Smith. Welcome to another edition of Litter Media Live Special Edition. Today we have Chillicothe Veterans Affairs Medical Center Public Affairs Officer Alan Graves, along with Terry McQuirt, Executive Assistant for the Office of Director. They're here to talk about the Chillicothe VA Medical Center's centennial anniversary coming up this summer. Our interview today brought to you by Classic Brands, back with the VA right after this.
Are you looking for a beer that satisfies your thirst and love of country? Armed Forces Brewing Company brews beer for patriots. Celebrate freedom with every sip. Armed Forces Brewing Company. Freedom never tasted so good.
We're back. We've got Alan Graves on the outside, Terry McQuirt in the middle. Guys, welcome. Good to have you with us today.
Always glad to be with you, Mike.
All right, Alan, let's get started. 100 years we're going to be celebrating the Chillicothe VA Medical Center this summer. What's the date on the actual event?
June 1st. Yeah. So we're coming up close. It feels like 100 years went by really fast. I don't know if any of you guys were there, but it was quick for me anyways. But yeah, 100-year celebration coming up just a couple of weeks, June 1.
Let's go back a little bit of history. 1924, when it opened up. What was the thinking at that time?
So it opened up. Obviously, it started construction in 2023 after Camp Sherman, after the war. They wanted to open up as a way to give back to our veterans. And once construction finished, they opened up their doors on January 1st, 2024, and 15 days later saw their first patient out of Columbus, Ohio. So it opened, and then it started trickling really, really quickly. We started off with just over 520 beds, and then within 20 years, it was up over 1,200. So it grew quickly.
Right. And I guess this was one of the first veterans hospitals. Is that correct? At that time, 1923 or 24?
It was. So we've got a history team that's been working on this event, and they're setting up a history museum inside our recreation hall. Yeah. They're giving historical tours using this Chillicothe VA, or the city of Chillicothe's trolley. Mm-hmm. They've been gracious enough to allow us to use that for the tours, and there's been a lot of discussion, a lot of research going on as to whether us or there's a facility in Alabama that there's some dates that people are going back and forth on as to who was the first, yeah. Right? But I think our history team's done a fantastic job. So the centennial, June 1st, and just a lot of activity going on that entire week, actually. So,
any idea or even approximate how many veterans have been served in that 100 years out there?
Oof. That's a great question. I mean, I know we're at just over 22,000 that we serve currently. Wow. So I can't even imagine over 100 years, especially in the early years when it was really booming. I know we were really booming in the late 80s, early 90s as well. I don't even know if I could even begin to speculate a number.
Yeah, and that facility used to be a 2,000-bed inpatient facility. So we've changed the footprint of what we actually do and what services we provide over the 100 years, obviously, Mm-hmm. And so, from a 2,000-bed inpatient facility to we now operate in the range of a 262-bed facility, pushing towards 270 with some of our new units. But yeah, it would be. I imagine that number would be in the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, if we were actually to track that information. So,
yeah, we're celebrating 100 years, but just to remind people, we put behind us any talk about it going away. Chillicothe VA is here to stay.
We're not going anywhere. In fact, we're expanding. So We got a lot of new programs, not a lot of new benefits, especially under the PACT Act, which we've been talking about for almost 2 years now. But yeah, we're not going anywhere.
We just opened a new unit just short of a month ago. We have an additional unit that's going to be opening later this year. We're looking at expansion of services. There's no discussion of the Chillicothe VA going anywhere.
I know we've talked about it a number of times in the last several years, but I think it serves to be a reminder that it's not just people in our immediate area. There are many counties that are central, southern Ohio, southeast Ohio that are being served by this Chillicothe facility.
Absolutely. 17 counties stretched. Our furthest county, I guess, would be Cambridge area. Mm-hmm. All the way down to Adams County and Scioto County down on the river. all the way over to Wilmington, our Wilmington clinic. So we have a very, very tight grip on the Southeast Ohio community, the Southeast Ohio veteran needs, and just by the expansion of our services in those different areas. I mean, Wilmington's not that old of a clinic. It's, maybe a decade or maybe 12 years old. My mind misses dates sometimes, but just us being able to serve those veterans in those different communities. We got Cambridge and Marietta that, that's our easternmost portion of the veterans we serve. We got Athens County, we have Sauter County, Ross County, all those veterans in those different counties that we listen to them. We listen to the services they need. We understand what their needs are as Southeast Ohioans, and being able to just serve them is our honor.
Before we get into some specific events that are going to be a part of the big celebration, you guys brought some items here to commemorate this event that we want to show people watching.
Start with the big one here.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Terry.
Just explain that as we go.
So we decided as a committee that we would put out the word to our staff and allow staff to design a coin. We had 18 different designs that came forward, something in that nature. And Deidre Stout, who's one of our nursing assistants, this was the design she came up with to kind of honor Chillicothe as a whole. You see the smokestacks there, and then honor the Chillicothe VA. And this was the design that was picked by the staff. And we have this plate that'll be displayed in Building 1, which is our executive building at the VA. We have poker chips and then hard coins that'll be handed out leading up to the event and the week of the event. Mm-hmm. And so it's an opportunity for us in the military community. We're all about challenge coins. I know I have a stack in my office. Alan's got a stack in his office, all displayed properly. And it's just an opportunity for us to commemorate this event, and folks are able to take a piece of the event with them. So.
Now, you also have a jersey or a shirt here.
We do. So this is a commemorative jersey that, and I'm messing the microphone up already. This is a commemorative jersey that the Paints will be wearing for the game that night. This is, we have the Century of Service logos on it. We got the Paints logos. And these jerseys will actually be sold in their gift shop. The player-worn jerseys will be sold in the gift shop after the game, and all those proceeds will be donated back to the Chillicothe VA for next year's Veterans Appreciation event. Okay. So that's something not to lose in the centennial excitement, is that this event is tandemed with our annual Veterans Appreciation event. And we did that because that event's been so successful. We wanted to make sure that the Centennial had a great turnout so the community can celebrate the Century of Service with us. And so we got the Centennial going on June 1st, but also that's going to dissolve into our Veterans Appreciation Night with the Paints. And so they were gracious enough to agree to a commemorative jersey for the night. This is the design that Brian and his team came up with, and we're just excited to watch the Paints that night. So.
Now, the big medallion, I think, Alan, you said that'll go into a case of some kind at the hospital?
Absolutely. So Building 1, we keep a lot of our more special pieces that we've gained over our history. And big glass case, this will be sitting on a rotating situation there. So for everybody to enjoy that comes through, at least comes through Building 1. Some discussion about displaying it in our main urgent care area for a while, just so everybody can see it and get their eyes on it. But, yeah, that's a piece that we'll keep at least until the next 100-year celebration, I suppose.
Now, the challenge coins and the poker chip, will those be available for people to purchase or not? Or
So no purchasing. So the hard coins will be passed out by executive leadership during June 1st event. The poker chips we have been handing out around the community just to kind of advertise, market the event, and just so folks in the community all have a little piece of the event to keep with them. So, and with that said, we have this one. We're going to leave with you, Mike.
Oh, great.
Make sure that you have a piece.
Thank you very much.
The gentleman behind the camera will make sure you get one before we leave.
Dan's a big poker player.
Yes, he's a big poker player. Yeah. So, and I don't want to miss a point on the jersey that VFW Post 62 and Post 108 were the sponsors of the jersey. So they put the funds up to make sure this jersey could happen. And again, that's just going to be more resources for next year's Veterans Appreciation event, which this is the 16th Veterans Appreciation event.
Yeah.
We take a mulligan for the COVID year, like everybody
else did. Yeah. Now, Alan, the schedule of events that are going to be happening that day. Let's go through those.
So we'll kick off. I don't know why I'm grabbing that. We'll kick off at 1 o'clock with our main ceremony. But like Terry said earlier, we have things going on all week. So starting on Tuesday, we're not going to do anything on Memorial Day, but starting on Tuesday, we have a handful of different events going on campus: historical tours, employee appreciation, retiree appreciation, vintage baseball game. There's a lot to unpack. And the day of the big event day on the 1st, we'll kick that ceremony off at 1, and that'll run all the way to about 2:30, depending on how many words our guest speakers have, I suppose. And then we'll have live music coming in. Hi-Fi Honey out of Columbus, Ohio. Great cover band out of Columbus. They'll entertain us throughout the afternoon, leading all the way up until the doors open for the paints. So.
Yeah. And so, but we don't want to miss this, that on June 1st, the festivities actually will kick off at 8 a.m. We have a Memorial 5K run, walk, roll. And if you're interested in signing up for that, you can go to Eventbrite. Eventbrite, you can register to be part of that walk, run, roll. We have the Eyes of Freedom memorial display that will be on display in the gymnasium starting at 9 a.m. that day. Mace House. So those familiar with the Chillicothe VA, we have a historical Mace House on site that local DAR, has been leading up to kind of give it a revamp. And they're excited to display that for the event on June 1st. We'll have our normal information booths that you normally see at the Veterans Appreciation. Those will open up at noon. Those aren't going to be in the same place, though, so there's going to be more parking this year. Usually we have those housed in the parking lot of the paint stadium. This year they're going to actually be over in front of 31 in that little U parking lot. That way it gives us more parking for all the guests that we're anticipating. Again, the main ceremony is going to start at 1, like Alan said. We got historical tours. We only have one historical tour on June 1st, and that's the 10:30 to noon window. It is on Eventbrite as well. We have the Veterans Appreciation registration will open at 3 p.m. You can register now for the Veterans Appreciation by going to Eventbrite, and you can register for up to 10 tickets on there. If you need more than 10 tickets, if you have a larger family, you just have to reach out to myself, and we'll give that contact info here shortly, and I'll make sure that you get what you need for your family that night. And then we're going to go right into the stadium at 5:30 like normal years. Free food, pregame. We got a very special Neil Miller appreciation ceremony, as we've named our appreciation flag that we present. 7:05 game starts, and then we got pregame fireworks. Or post-game fireworks, I'm sorry. So it's kind of the trifecta for the paints. Mm-hmm. Opening weekend, Veterans Appreciation, and post-game fireworks. Yeah. So Brian is he's going to be a busy bee that day. So, but we got a lot of excitement going on in the community for this. A lot of great events going on. Food trucks on site that day. Mm-hmm. Food trucks will be for purchase during the activities outside the stadium. And we just think it's going to be a really cool event. Bouncy houses for the kids, carnival games for the kids with prizes. Just a nice day to come out and enjoy with your family. The campus, because we have a beautiful campus. Everybody who comes from and around the country to the Chillicothe VA from other VA campuses go, wow, we wish we had this. Mm-hmm. You know, it gives us a lot of opportunity for events like this, and we're just excited.
And that contact information you wanted to pass, I guess, for families that are coming out?
Absolutely. So if you have any trouble registering, have any questions, you can call me at 740-773-1141, and my direct extension is 16001.
Anything to close, guys?
All of that information is also available on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Chillicothe VAMC. We've posted the full flyer for the Centennial and Veterans Appreciation Night, also a full calendar of everything that's going on, not just that day, but throughout that entire week, and more information to come as we get closer and closer to the event day.
Okay. Terry?
as we finish up, again, the registration, Eventbrite. We have most of our activities that you can go to Eventbrite. You can also register for Veterans Appreciation tickets by calling 740-772-7070. You'll leave a voicemail. You will not get a return call on that voicemail number, but you can leave your information and we will make sure your tickets are available. Now, look, if you get busy, you don't get an opportunity to register, we understand. Please don't hesitate. Come out and see us at 3 p.m. We'll get you registered and get you set up. Pre-register just allows us to get Brian prepared for how much food we need for the night. Really.
We're not going to turn anybody away.
No, we will not.
Not often that you get a chance to celebrate something in your community that's been around 100 years, but here's the opportunity and a great way to salute our tremendous veterans, past and present, for what they've done to help keep our nation what it is. Again, our guest today, Terry McQuirt, also Alan